Hey Doug, it's Marmy. It's live for the public. Whenever 5:45, whenever you want to start.
Okay, thank you.
David, what's so funny?
It's just, oh, I'll call you.
Hey, Mark, will you sit in for Jonathan? Mark? Oh, hold on. Jonathan's getting on right now.
Okay.
Hey Doug.
All right, we are going to call this. Yeah.
Ryan's having issues. He asked me to sit in for him.
Okay.
Here comes Jonathan.
I like your background, Spence.
Thank you, David.
Okay, so we're going to call this Finance Committee meeting to order. Present are council members Lang, Harris, Blake, Marmy, and Barker is sitting in for Bub. First item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $29,000.
Mr. Chair, I have this one. We have a retiring police officer, and these are his payouts.
Make a motion.
Any questions?
I'll second.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Harris, second by Lang. Okay, I'm having problems seeing everybody because everybody's on video and only the committee members are supposed to be on video.
Hold on, I'm going to try and go through and turn some people's video. If they don't get it.
Okay, so all those in favor, or any questions or comments on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by thumbs up. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $965,000. Actually, no, we've got another one in between that, don't we? $965,000.
That's that would be section 3, right? So I think there was a section 2.
Correct, it is. Yeah,
So-
there is, but it was out of order in mine.
Okay, I can address that. This is just to pay off the Horns Hill sanitary sewer note. and reissue the note. So this is basically just money, we're coming in and then money going back out again. So we reissue that note, which I think Steve will talk about later on with some legislation for the new notes. So that's all that is just a
Okay.
reissue of the note. So, or funds for reissue of the note.
Correct.
I'll offer a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Barker, second by Harris. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by thumbs up. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is the request for appropriation in the amount of $35,000.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This will come out of the unappropriated balance of the Street and Traffic Fund. We're looking to buy a new pickup truck for the street department.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Barker, second by Harris. Any questions or comments? So this is to pay the full amount, correct, David?
That is the full amount. Yes, we're going to pay cash for this truck.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by a thumbs up. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation. This is something that we're hoping to invoke Rule 11 tonight. It's an appropriation for $1,813,138.48. This is the COVID CARES Act money. I can actually speak to this. This is some additional funds that came from the county. We have to appropriate this evening. We really don't have to vote on this to go forward to council because we would like to get it on to council this evening. The reason why, if we do not vote for it tonight, it will not meet the deadline of November 20th to be encumbered. So therefore, this has to be passed this evening by full council in order for us to be able to utilize that $1.8 million. So it's up to the wishes of this committee. I mean, we could pass it out of committee, but we're hopefully, I know I am, and I'm pretty sure Jeremy is, we're not going to turn down $1.8 million in order to make sure that this is encumbered.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd certainly be in support of getting this onto full council tonight as well. I think just for clarity in the record, it's probably best to just go forward with Rule 11 tonight at council rather than creating confusion, voting it out of this committee.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I just
support.
Okay. Anybody else? Jeremy?
Mr. Chairman, is there a way where you can provide an update? I know there's been some meetings that I know you and I sat in on a meeting last week. Is there any update on where the money potentially is going to be dispersed at this point in time?
We have not. We've basically been gathering a list. I gave a preliminary list to the mayor on Friday and also to the auditor's office on Friday. However, Friday afternoon, I received additional emails and things. All I'm doing is compiling that list and kind of giving the folks that are requesting any funds kind of guidelines on what kind of documentation will be required for them. From there, the administration will come through. I can tell you that of the funds that I have collected from various agencies, and I know I actually received some additional emails on my way to on my way home in order to get on the Zoom call. But as of right now, just the amount of money they've just request is right around $1.2 million, almost 1.3 of the 1.8. I just used the even number of 1.8. There's also some funds that are being requested within the city for our safety forces, but we may have had an additional. We weren't certain of as far as how much we had left of the other money, and it could be close to 200,000. So we're just going to compile the list and continue to move forward, and then the mayor will kind of, in the administration, will look at all the documentation and make sure that I can tell you some of the entities that are on the list include Pitmaster 1922, Dickey's, Newark Homeless Outreach, Newark City Schools, the Ice Arena, Vertical 196, the Midland, Coalition for Housing, some additional turnout gear for the fire department, Canal Market, Par Excellence, Newark Catholic, Blessed Sacrament, and St. Francis. So those are some of the folks who have submitted information on those, and that's kind of where we're at this point.
Can you share that list of entities? You read that rather quickly, so I wasn't able to list all that. But
sure, yeah, I'd be happy to.
So I know the call that you and I were on, there was some, you were estimating rough amounts about what can be given to each of those. So I guess I'm curious to see how much more work needs to be done before we make sure that all 1.8 is distributed.
Certainly. Yeah, certainly. Right now, it looks like there's, of the 1.8, looks like there's about 500,000 still remaining.
And you're going to email that out? Or?
Okay, well, I'll email it out. I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
All right. My pleasure. Any other comments or questions on that?
And I don't mind using the Rule 11 for the record.
Certainly. Thank you. All right, then we'll move on to the next item. It is a ordinance to provide for the issuance of 965,000 of the bond anticipated notes in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying a portion of the city's cost and a portion of the property owner's cost in anticipation of the levy and collection of special assessments for Horns Hill Road sanitary sewer project improvements and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance 2038 will renew the existing bond anticipation notes for a period of 90 days. We're coming up on the end of the year and there's not enough time to issue special assessment bonds. So it's in the best interest of the city to renew this for another 90-day period, then address it at that time. Also, this needs to be expedited.
Yeah, it has the emergency clause on it. Any questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Spencer Barker and a second by Harris. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by thumbs up. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
And thank you.
That was canceled.
Can you mute that for me, Spencer? Whoever that is.
Did you figure it out? Did you figure it out?
Someone's not on mute. Looks like they're doing some banking business. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $100,000.
Yeah, this is funds from our wastewater fund to additional work on our UV disinfection upgrade project at the wastewater plant. What we've decided as part of the project, we were updating the SCADA control system, which is an automated control system for the UV system. We've already upgraded it for our anaerobic digester. We made the decision we need to upgrade the whole system for the whole plant. It's just a little more. It's actually just easier to do it now as opposed to trying to piecemeal the whole thing. So this extra $100,000 is to design and do some programming updates to the current SCADA control system at the wastewater plant as part of the UV disinfection project we have going on there right now. So, and again, these would be out of wastewater funds, so the unappropriated balance of wastewater. So,
Very good.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Lang, second by Harris. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by thumbs up. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Let's see, I am now going to Nancy Waylo. I guess I need to know what if you could just add to your chat what you're wanting to speak on, because we've gone through the agenda. There's three people that said they'd like to speak, and I guess I'm not understanding what they're wanting to speak on finance for, if it's not pertaining to the agenda. Okay, I'm not seeing anything come up on chat. Nancy, you want to come off mute and just tell me what this, CARES Act, 1.8 million. Okay. Briefly, I guess I'm going to allow maybe a little bit, but we're not going to go into detail as far as the CARES Act, because that's not something that the Finance Committee directly is going to be involved in. So I guess I'll start with Nancy.
Thank you, Mr. Marmee. I was trying to get in there when you were talking about it, but wasn't able to.
Okay.
Actually. I know there's a lot going on with Zoom. I've had 3 Zoom meetings today, so I get it. First, I'd like to thank you for entertaining the what the Newark Homeless Outreach sent, the small amount that we were requesting for the COVID dollars. I realize that it will go to full council tonight, but we wanted to thank you for entertaining that. I didn't know if there was a way, we realized after the fact that thermometers might be a good idea to add to that also for the folks that are out on the street, like the Newark Homeless Outreach and some of the grassroots groups. I didn't know if I could add that to what I had sent to Mr. Lang, to add to the list that we had already sent you. Sorry about that.
Certainly, just put it in. Yeah, just go ahead and put that in there and just send an updated one. That'd be great.
And what do you have any, Mr. Marmee, do you have any sort of timeline on this? After tonight, after it gets voted on?
Well, Yeah, I know that the administration wants to act upon this relatively quickly because the money all has to be spent in certain areas by January 29th. So we want to make sure that folks are aware of what's going on as far as how much they're going to be allocated to spend.
So it has to be spent by January 29th. It has to be
No,
encumbered
excuse
by,
me,
okay.
December 29th. If I said January, I
Okay,
misspoke.
it has to be spent by December 29th.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think a few other
My
people had
pleasure.
a few things to say. Thank you.
Okay. Leisha?
Yes, I'll reserve my time until full city council regarding the process of deciding how the funds are being spent. Thank you.
Okay. And Carolyn Cook? Carolyn?
I'll wait till the full council. But I wish to
Okay,
speak at the
very
same
good.
time.
Then this finance committee meeting stands. Who's that? Was that still Carolyn?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so finance will stand adjourned. Next up, I believe it's personnel.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, Ryan, we can hear you.
Okay.
And see you this time. It's better.
Okay. We'll start personnel committee meeting in just about 2 minutes. Okay, it is 6:05. We'll call this personnel committee meeting to order. Those present are myself, Ryan Bubb, Mark Labutus, Jonathan Lang, Dee Hall, Sean Fennell. The purpose of tonight's meeting is considering resolution 20-88. It's a resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Service to enter in to an agreement with specialized legal counsel for the purpose of investigating allegations of workplace harassment and other allegations of possible wrongdoing in the office of the clerk of the municipal court. With that being said, is Director Spurgeon on here, Bill?
Good evening, Mr. Chair.
Okay, yep, hello. Yeah, if you wanted to just make a comment just off the bat there before we get started with any conversation, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Mr. Chair, this became aware to the legislative body and myself, I believe October 5th or 6th, if memory serves. There are allegations involving some current and past stakeholders in this department. I was asked to weigh in professionally as HR director what my course of action would be recommended to do. I made I heard the claimant, the allegations were submitted to the legislative body by persons I haven't engaged directly, but after hearing out the council person, which is what the committee charged me to do, I wrote a letter authored to you that you either investigate the matter further with outside counsel, investigate the matter further with the engagement of my human resources department, or take no further action. My final statement to the committee was that I believe it best, should you choose to look into this matter, that you engage outside counsel. And I do that for a number of different reasons, Mr. Chair. Number one, there are former employees involved. Nobody directly has come to my office, and even if they did, I simply do not have the bandwidth to engage multiple deposition statements, investigations, that sort of thing. It's just myself and the Assistant Director of Human Resources. So again, I'd recommended that, again, a separate body would do that. Certainly, if a single person came to our office, we absolutely would process that. But in the same manner, if I saw that evolving to a larger process, more persons needing to testify, more statements, it is quite likely that I would take the same manner that appears the legislative body is doing tonight. I'd hit the brakes and engage outside counsel. So that is my involvement up to here, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Marmee, did you have any comments you wanted to make?
I can just state that, you know, when we started looking into the reason for the pay raises, I was beginning to look at former employees and the purpose for why they left. I only contacted one individual, and that was at the direction of someone else who works in the city of Newark. And then I had 3 other individuals contact me who I did not even contact after reading the minutes. Some of the comments that were made, like Director Spurgeon, I put the brakes on. I said, look, this is beyond my scope. I want to make sure that all parties are duly representative, have the right process, and I'm not going to conduct an investigation myself or do anything like that. We need to protect employees, whether it be management and or employees. We just want to make sure we do the right thing. And I want to make, when it's brought to my attention, I have a duty to act. And I did that. I contacted the HR department, and that's when he got involved. And he's indicated, what kind of transpired there and where it's gone from there.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions, comments from anyone on this committee before I open it up to the rest of the audience? Mr. Fennell, go ahead.
Yes, I was just wondering, is this, Director Spurgeon, is this your recommendation specifically? It just feels like this is more of an administrative function and not in a legislative function. And I was just kind of wondering if you might be able to shed a little bit of light as to, is this a normal course? What is the precedence for something like this? Basically just wondering, is this the normal process that we would go through for something like that?
So the best I could find through the chair to Mr. Fennell was it is within the powers of council in the charter. When I wrote the letter, I did take 3 courses of action, one being, don't do anything. That aside, I'm unaware of precedent. What I would say is these are allegations. I do believe it's the employer's best interest to make sure folks are high performing, fully engaged. Folks want process. And certainly when accusations are lobbied, the persons are lobbied against deserves this protection, this process as well. So this is just merely outside my scope from a capacity bandwidth perspective, which is why I advocated, should the council choose, I would prefer they choose outside investigators to do this.
Mr. Fennell, did you have anything else?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right, does anyone else, one second, Marcia, I'll get to you. Does anyone else on the committee, before I open it up, does anyone else have any comments? Okay, Marcia Phelps, you can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members of the committee and HR Director Bill Spurgeon and the other administration that's here and the other members of council. I do want to speak to the resolution that's before you tonight. I want to share that I find it surprising the way this has transpired. I'm not aware of, nor have I been apprised of, any allegations of workplace harassment or misconduct in my office until the Personnel Committee meeting of October 5th. It seems odd that this resolution has been put before this committee without consulting me about what concerns may exist. In my 37 years as an office holder in Licking County, I've never seen anything like this. It's unprecedented in this county for elected officials of one body to initiate investigations into another elected official's office. It is so unusual and out of the blue that I'm afraid it may have political undertones. Nonetheless, as the independently elected municipal clerk, I am responsible for operation of the clerk's office and must take any allegations seriously, and I do take them very seriously. If there's wrongdoing in my office, I want to know about it. And I want to take a proactive approach to these alleged allegations. Therefore, when I learned these allegations or alleged allegations have earned the merit that Newark City Council Personnel Committee consider a resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Service to enter into an agreement with specialized legal counsel for the purposes of investigating alleged allegations by viewing the same agenda items as those that it was distributed to on Wednesday, November 11th, I immediately hired a law firm, O'Connor, Hazley, and Wilhelm Law, to serve as counsel for my office in order to get to the bottom of this. As I said, I am very concerned, and would love to be able to have a part of what is going to transpire. And I want to make sure that there is fair inquiry free of any partisan considerations. The lead partner in charge of this investigation has experience in such matters at municipal, county, state, and federal level, and is committed to conduct a prompt, thorough, and impartial investigation. I have no relationship with this firm, which was referred to me by experts in the field. I am well aware that they will submit a report that will document all findings of impropriety, no matter who is responsible, whether those allegations are against me or someone in my office. My office has charged this firm with the following: conducting an independent investigation into any and all claims of workplace harassment, hostile work environment, or any instances of wrongdoing that may have been alleged by any former employee of my office. I've also asked them to investigate any similar claims or concerns by any existing employees of the clerk's office, reviewing current office policies and recommending revisions that can best protect my office and its employees from workplace harassment, misconduct, and litigation, as well as protect the city of Newark, our funding authority, from any undue claims filed against this office. Providing anti-discrimination and harassment training to employees of the clerk's office, to conduct the investigation with transparency and consideration for all involved, and to report findings of the independent investigation to this committee and to my office. Because I am the one responsible for running the clerk's office, and I am the one accountable for the conduct of its employees, I am committed to moving forward with this independent investigation. You are welcome to go ahead with what you are suggesting, but in interest of efficient use of taxpayers' dollars and out of recognition for my role as the administrator of this office, I respectfully request that you await the results of this investigation before determining the need for your own. I want to again thank you for the opportunity to speak to the resolution. I do look forward to working with everyone to ensure that the employees of the Licking County Municipal Court Clerk's Office operate in the most professional work environment possible as they endeavor to provide quality customer service to all those who use our office and the processing of case management needs. It is important that we make sure that we are doing what we can for all those that come to our office. It is important for me to be involved as the elected official in what is happening here. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening to my statement.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or comments this evening? Jeremy Blake, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope that is Bill still on? Is the Human Resource Director still on? I guess I'm curious about when he had spoken with the former employees. Are these employees of any protected class? I noticed that the resolution mentions workplace harassment and other allegations, but it does not say the word discrimination within the resolution. Are any of the former employees of a protected class? Are they a woman or a minority or any other protected class?
Mr. Spurgeon, you can proceed if you'd like.
Through the chair to Mr. Blake, I'm uncomfortable discussing matters of personnel in a public forum. For the record, I have stated that I have not spoke directly with any former or current employees. What I did hear is the concerns of a legislator who had.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. My question is related to that if the former employee is a person from a protected class, then we already have a state agency that deals with these types of complaints. It's called the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. So if there was a female that has a complaint regarding something or another protected class, then my question is, why is that person not going to the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, especially with it being a former employee? So I don't even see why, I guess my question is why is it coming through this process versus that former employee going to the Ohio Civil Rights Commission? And then my next concern is, if we aren't talking about discrimination, if we're just talking about workplace harassment, and the HR director, even the law director, correct me, but in Ohio, we don't have an anti-bullying or workplace harassment law. So I really don't see where we're going to spend $10,000 to do an investigation, but there really is no law for bullying or for for bullying or workplace harassment. So I'm concerned about what would be the outcome of this $10,000 investigation when there's really no law that enforces bullying or workplace harassment.
Mr. Spurgeon, you want to reply to Mr. Blake on anything?
I'll defer matters of law to our law director, respectfully, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Blake.
Okay.
Is Doug on?
I am.
Doug, did you want to reply to any of Mr. Blake's questions?
I know nothing of the allegations that were made in this case. I'm not comfortable discussing how the case should proceed based on some hypothetical set of facts when I don't know what the actual set of facts are.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else from the committee, council, public have any questions or comments? Sean Fennell, go ahead.
Thank you. I also just wanted to just comment that, we're learning a lot about this tonight, especially since the Office of the Clerk of Municipal Court has already started moving forward with an investigation in the department. I mean, generally, I think that it is best practice to let, HR matters give the person or the department that is involved, especially conduct an independent investigation. I don't think we need to, be redundant. I think that if there's a time, if we're unsatisfied with the results of that independent investigation, that then maybe we could move forward at that time. But right now, I would like to find the results or hear the results of that independent investigation before we expend more funds.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Mr. Lang, you can proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess, I'm glad to hear that, Marcia, you're moving forward with an investigation at this time. I guess I would be a little concerned that with the impartiality of that investigation, given who those attorneys ultimately report to, but also with respect to the timing, these allegations, I think, were first brought to light back in early October, and it sounds like we're just now hearing about council being engaged to conduct an investigation now that we've got legislation to potentially move our own investigation forward. So my thought would be to go ahead and move this out of committee tonight. There would still be 2 readings at council to continue discussing this and see where the process is. I mean, in all fairness, I mean the investigation that's being conducted now could potentially be wrapped up by the time we get to that second meeting in December, which is about a month away. So I think it'd be good to see where that investigation is, and if it's moving forward, speedily. Maybe we do hold off at that second reading and wait till we get the final report from that investigation. But at this time, my suggestion would be that we move this forward so that we are in a position to initiate our investigation if things aren't moving fast on any other track. So with that, I'll make a motion to move this on to council.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor by Lang to move this on to full council. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, there is a second by Mark Labutus. Does anyone else have any further questions or comments regarding this before we send this to a vote? Okay, Jeremy, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, once again, just want to say that we as a city, I mean, is council setting a precedent now that when a city employee becomes a former employee, can any former employee come forward and make allegations, and then we're going to expend dollars for a legal investigation? So I caution the committee in taking this action. I also think that there's some caution that needs to be taken place with regards to, if this is a discrimination issue, then it needs to go to the Civil Rights Commission. If this is just a workplace harassment, anti-bullying situation, there is no law related to that type of situation. So we're wasting potentially $10,000, in my opinion, forward.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Just looking around here. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? If so, just raise your hand here. Okay. Seeing none, there is a motion on the floor by Lang, a second by Mark Labutus, to move resolution 20-88 on to a full council. All of those in favor of moving this on to a full council can signify with a thumbs up. All of those opposed? Okay. This will pass 4-1. This will move on to full council here for a first hearing in 2 weeks. So appreciate everyone's time. With that, this personnel committee will